So I'm trying to identify it from the ear, and I'm thinking maybe steenbok, but it is one of the dwarf antelope that he's killed, and most likely, judging by where he's feeding, he's already fed on a lot of the back of the antelope, because that is where they start. The highest nutritional intake is maybe where the rump is, where there's the highest meat content, and then slowly but surely they'll make their way through the animal, finishing off with maybe the skin and the skull. Wind is playing a little bit of havoc with the vegetation. This is probably about the best view we can get, other than sort of seeing his rump on the other side of this tree. And I hope that we can maybe stay here and watch him through this process. He's exceptionally well hidden. There's nothing that is going to see him from the sky. Even though the sky is clearing beautifully, there's more blue sky than we've seen in the last couple of days. Still a little bit of grey and a little bit of darkness that might be moving in from the south, although it does seem to be moving, seems to be blowing from the sort of southwest up to the northeast. But I think that we might be lucky to have a more wonderful afternoon with this dark cloud in the background and the sun going down. The side light that strikes the trees and strikes the bushveld in the east, with the light behind us, makes everything brighter green and just so much more vivid.
You can pull forward a little bit.
Yeah, it's changed position, so we need to try forward or back? Forward. Forward a bit. Flower head of one of the panicum grasses. Could be a panicum, or is it an eragrostis? I think it's Panicum maximum. Just blowing across our vision. Hayden and Jack, nice to have you guys on board. I'm sure you're missing this, Hayden. Hope you're gonna come and do this again with us one day. I'd love to be able to join you. That's you, Ephraim. Yeah, that's Ephraim. Dappled sunlight filtering through these leaves gives you an idea of how well leopards are concealed, especially in sunlight, because with the dappled light and their spotted coat pattern, if they're sitting still, there is no way that things are going to see them. I mean, we could have driven past here 1,000 times if he was under this bush and we would never have seen him. And I'm very grateful to Aubrey from Buyatela Galago for letting us in on this little trick. You can imagine if one has monochrome vision without the benefit of colors, that it would be very, if he wasn't moving, it would be very, very hard to see this cat. Zoom out a little bit, I think, Jason, just so we can sort of get an idea of how well covered he is and how almost impossible it would be to see the likes of a leopard. And that's not even zoomed out much. Maybe a little bit bright. I need to get my monitor's brightness the same as your brightness, I think, because it might be blown out on my monitor. Maybe now I've got it a little bit too dark on my monitor. we go. That looks pretty good. This is an exception. This is a very big leopard, by the way. This is no lightweight. This is a leopard who's 9 years old, going on 10 next year. So he's considered. I would say he's considered pretty much a heavyweight in the leopard stakes. He's the father of two of Karula's litters, maybe the third that's being suckled at the moment. No, I'm sorry, maybe the last litter and this litter. The third litter was still Yambilu Jordan, big male leopard that came in from Buffelshoek, who used to occupy this territory. North of us, there are some of the Matimba male lions. We're not going to get to them. They're on Buffelshoek. I think Mvula. Oh, okay, copy, thanks. Evidently other leopard tracks that I didn't see because we were so eager to get out here. Other tracks of maybe a female leopard. Oh, you. Unbelievable how these guys just push trees over. Hello, dear. Hi, dear. Nice to hear from you again, dear. And dear is wanting to know if it's unusual behavior for a leopard not to tree its prey. But no, it's not unusual, dear. And quite often leopard will hunt during the day. It's the least likely time of the day that they're going to be disturbed by hyena or lion. The least likely time when hyena or lion are going to actually hear, because there are often death cries of the prey when it is killed. Maybe we need to lighten that up a little bit, just so we can. Maybe it's my monitor. Unbelievable what these guys do just to get to a leopard. How many trees they push over. But it's quite a common thing when leopard are making a kill during the day. They're actively hunting during the day because they have the least likely chance of having other predators, their competition moving around to be able to come and steal their prey. It's only when they are directly threatened. There are some times that leopard will automatically tree their prey if it is a fairly big item or a fairly big animal that they've taken down, and they want to be able to feed on it over a period of time. That's when they're likely to tree it, especially when there is a high population of competitive predators, things like lion and hyena and other leopards. So maybe more intelligent behavior than unusual behavior, in that making a kill during the day ensures that they will keep it. It's a fairly small cat, or rather small prey. It can be finished fairly quickly. And when you find that animals or a leopard that kill their prey during the day, that do not tree it, you'll find that generally they're going to take it and they're going to hide it under fairly thick vegetation, because the one thing that they don't want is to be seen from the air. There are a couple of scavenging birds besides vultures. There's the hooded vulture, there's the battalier eagle, and there's the tawny eagle, which are three birds that are relatively low soaring birds. They soar between, well, anywhere under 200 feet, and they are the ones that are most likely going to find something. But what happens is that when a battalier or a tawny eagle or a hooded vulture start landing in trees, then they start attracting the attention of higher flying vultures, some of the bigger vultures, and as soon as vultures start dropping out of the sky, it starts attracting the attention of hyena and lion. Because even though lion and hyena might be sleeping, they do prick up their ears and they do take note of some of the larger birds that start coming out of the sky. Now, contrary to what most people believe, is that vultures circle over a kill. They don't really. They circle when they're leaving a kill, but when they're coming into a kill, they drop out of the sky in numbers, and they drop pretty quickly because there's no time to be circling. They've got to land and they've got to get to that carcass as soon as possible, because the competition amongst the scavenging birds is very, very great. And so they've got to be able to get there fairly quickly. So there's no time for circling. And if the predator is still on the prey, they'll be landing in trees. And the more the vultures accumulate in the trees around a kill, the more it's going to attract attention. So when a leopard is killing during the day and it's not treeing its carcass, or it's not treeing its kill, it's going to take it into a very dense sort of foliage like this, so that it can remain hidden and feed fairly peacefully. The rain and the wind, well, the wind itself is likely to attract attention because there is a very distinct smell that comes from a kill. But there's not really that much chance of hyena wandering around that they're going to pick it up yet. And he's likely going to be finished by the time that happens. Hello, Valerie. Valerie, just referring to something that I was talking about earlier with monochrome vision, and I think it's very difficult to really tell what an animal sees. I think there have been some breakthroughs recently as to whether animals have, or how to really determine whether animals can see color or what it is they really see. But you've got to remember that having monochrome vision doesn't mean that they can't tell color, because with that monochrome vision comes different shades, and different shades obviously have different significances. But we can only surmise that animals don't see, most animals, especially the herbivores, we can only surmise that they don't see color. I think up until now it's been a case of whether they have a combination of rods and cones in their eyes, so that the light diffuses or is it goes through the kind of prism effect to create color. I need to look up on that, because recently there were some developments on really being able to establish whether color vision is related to that fact, or whether there are other factors that are key in determining color vision. Oh, we're about to get another rain. As much as I loved that little bit of sunshine before, this weather has turned. There's a huge grey squall coming in from the southwest, and we might be forced on. You can see there's a little bit of wind that's picked up now, what I call a rain wind. So we might actually have to move on again shortly, go back up to our little house on the prairie, our little shelter, and then maybe come back again in a little while. Lots of bee eaters that I can hear. They sound like carmines. They are carmines. Oh no, there's an European. Hello, Gail. Gail's asking if Mvula would allow his offspring on the kill to feed with him on the kill. I think that's only a question that Mvula could answer, Gail. I've seen leopard that are quite aggressive towards their offspring, but I've also seen leopard that allow their offspring. So it's not a question that can really be answered with a yes or no, because there's, you know how I am. There's so many questions I get asked, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is it depends. And unfortunately, this is one of those perfect examples of women depends on the mood of the individual, the state of the individual, how hungry he is. There are so many factors in this equation that it can't really be answered unless we actually see it. But then even then, there are different scenarios. Let me just talk to Craig quickly. Craig, come in. You want to come this side? I can see his face. I'll move around the other side. I'm just going to move so Craig can come in here.
Feeling a little bit dry today.
I'm going to go around that side.
Thanks, Mark.
Just let them get a view of his face so they can sort of... We've got to sort of share these things, so it's important that we acquiesce a little bit. I mean, there have been times when I've seen leopard being very aggressive with their off. Well, it's not really that often, come to think of it. I mean, if we're going to be talking about adult males and allowing their offspring to feed with them, there's not really that many times when this happens, because every book and or most of the literature that you're going to read, they are solitary cats and they don't tolerate their offspring and all sorts of other things. So I mean, here all we've got is sort of his rump, and we can see a little bit of his ear movement, but you can get an idea of, there you go, just get a really good idea of his spot pattern on his rump and the base of his tail. Those are his haunches, his thighs sticking up either side of his spine. But I can only emphasize the point that I try to get across as often as I can. When it comes to animal behavior, there is no book that can be written. There is no set action, or there is no set behavioral pattern that you can be sure of that an animal is going to follow. And when it comes to things like leopards and their extended families, they are individual, thinking, feeling, breathing, emotional creatures that go through moods. Oh, look, he's bringing it out, or he's just coming out for it. There we go. Full view of Mvula. Oh, he's a fantastic cat. He's actually leaving it for now. He might come back to it later, but I think he's maybe having a little bit of a break. Might be that the vehicle that came in there has just pushed himself a little bit too deep in, a little bit too close to Mvula for Mvula's liking. These things do happen. So let's see, he's going to wander out onto quarantine. He's not really, you can hear some testiculars calling. Liz, I hope you're with us. Fabienne, I hope you're with us too. Where is he going? It's not coming through yet. Should be just here in this gap, but he isn't yet. He's just here behind this quarry right here. He's right behind us. So we're just going to stop and see if he comes further forward. He's toileting, I think. That's what he's doing. Yeah, he's gonna just go. I can see a few spots through this quarry bush. I'm just gonna stop and just let him do what he wants to do in private, of course, because none of us like to be observed when we're doing these things. Some birds have seen him, so they're starting to alarm. It might attract the attention of the animals on the open area, the impala and stuff, but I don't think they're really going to be too concerned. Let me go forward, maybe we can get a little glimpse of him again. No, he's not toileting, he's just standing. Oh, okay, now we're moving again. Oh, he is, he's scratching. I don't know whether he's maybe burying something. He might be burying there might be stomach contents that he wants to bury. Look at that. That is an adult male leopard. You can see that fantastic flap of skin that sort of defines a male leopard, like the mane of a lion defines the lion. That sort of dewlap, that neck skin doesn't look very attractive on us humans, us males as humans, when our chin turns into our neck, but certainly when it comes to leopard, it defines them as an adult leopard. Straighten that antenna, please. Oh, we've lost the spring. Don't even have a camera to catch a good shot of him, but I'm sure we'll get some good screenshots. A little bit of blood on his chin. Oh, what a fantastic cat. Unbelievable. You can see the nicks and tears in his ears that are from years and years of fighting, probably getting a few of those from mating too, because Karula's probably given him a few good smacks. Oh my word, what a fantastic leopard. There's a good chance that all he's doing is actually he's just heading out to maybe find a puddle to drink some water, or who knows, just have a break from feeding. Wet here, hopefully not gonna cause any damage. Getting a bit dark again, potentially some more rain coming in. He's lying down now, doing a bit of cleaning. Probably fed for now, probably had enough to eat for the time being, because the carcass is well hidden and the weather is the way that it is and there are not too many raptors flying. Nobody's going to find it in a hurry. There's most likely going to be some hyenas sniffing around later, because once they wake up and they start moving around, they will invariably pick up the scent, especially because the stomach contents will be quite strongly scented. That's a bit of an understatement. Scented, not the right word. Okay, Rain, you need to move north. Don't spoil my afternoon, please. I'm going to also there's another vehicle that's come in, Alan, from one of the private camps further north, up in Biffle's Hook. And there he comes. Here comes the boy. He's going to walk. I'm going to just move a little bit back, just because he's going to want to walk on the road. I don't want to I don't want to force him off the road, so we'll just move a little bit back so that he can come past us. Where's my monkey? My monkey needs a picture with a leopard. Not my monkey, the monkey visiting me. Hello, Mvula. He's heading up towards where those giraffe were, heading up towards where those impala were. I doubt whether he's going to maybe make a kill or even be that interested. He's got a seriously full tummy at the moment, and who knows? You know, they are opportunists, very much so. But he doesn't seem to be really too concerned about concealing himself. I'm going to spray do a little bit of a territorial scratching with his hind legs. That's toileting more than territorial. Cat wants to roll. How beautiful that is. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I also thought so. I don't mind. This Land Rover's pulled many Land Cruisers out of the... Yes, I laugh until I get stuck. When I get stuck, not even a Land Cruiser can pull me out. Not even a tractor can pull me out. Because when I get stuck, even the tractor gets stuck. Hello. Hi. How are you? How are you, Alan? Just try and get above some. This is a very wet patch. You can see here the darkness of it. A pair of eagles flying, looks like African hawk eagles just up ahead of us. Wonderful hunters, the African hawk eagles. They fly and hunt as a pair. The giraffes seem to have moved off a little bit. I'm not